Hey, welcome to Mr. GK's Car Emporium. We got new cars, we got used cars, we got rental cars, we got all types of cars. You want to see what we got here? Let me show you. Let me just pull up my register of cars. We're talking, whoa, look at this one. We got this one. Whoa, look at that car. That's super cool. Whoa, comes in green now. Check out all these cars. You want to go to the beach? Not now. Nope, you can't go now, but you can go in maybe by the end of the summer. Okay, this is getting sad. Hey, everybody, how we doing? Okay, so we're continuing. Seamless transition. We're continuing talking about this new thing called CSS that you took video notes on yesterday. So today we're actually starting to practice it. How can we use CSS? That's the new language that, as you saw in the video, stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Who cares about the cascading part? That's like a waterfall. Who cares? Style sheet, right? It's how you style the text, make it look nice. Something you could, take home to the family. How can we use CSS to change the text style of the website? That's what we're focusing on today. Got a Google question. Boom. We got some Code Studio that you got to do by 10 p.m. I'm going to make that super clear on the assignment too. And it'll be in Pupil Path. Do this. I'm going to try to highlight this better. I reached out to people there was an older assignment in lesson 9, I want to say it was number 2. I reached out to people who didn't do it. If you didn't do it, it's not a big deal. Just do it. I messaged everyone individually. That's my preferred method, I think, to get in contact. It's faster than email. It's more casual. It's just like the equivalent of me stopping by your desk and say like, "Hey, can you do this, please?" So I like the chat, the Google chat. There's a required Zoom class Friday during our class time. So just keep that posted. Keep it in your mind. Cool. Here's our agenda. I don't know why this. Here we go. So we got our course categories. They changed again. This should be the final one. This should be school-wide. And then we'll talk about the Code Studio problems. So if you've been following Pupil Path, you saw that everything changed a lot. I've added a new category called Content Task. This is basically just supposed to be higher stakes work, something that has like a rubric or something I give you feedback on. And this should every class you have should look like this now. So the way I'm doing it is the daily Google questions and any video notes. Not often, but anytime we have them, this is part of the 30%. Content tasks, anything like we do today in Code Studio that are, I can type a little comment on and I'll look at more closely. That'll be in here. And then any kind of unit project, like the one I haven't graded yet, but your multi-page project is part of this category. I've also broken apart the daily Google questions into one per day. I don't know what it looks like for a student. If that looks very really long and too much, let me know. My thinking is that it's helpful because if you see an M, you can go back and fix it. For this week, if it's late, because we know what we're supposed to do now, I'm going to mark it as half credit within reason, right? Like if it's due at 5 and you do it at 6, that's fine. But if you do it the next day, I'm going to start marking it down just a little bit. Still do it. It's definitely still worth it. Okay, let's do this. So I added number 2 because we're going to look at this together, and these are the ones you're going to do. I'll show you how, but I won't do them all the way for you. I'll also write in here. No, we'll talk about those tomorrow. Sorry, just made a decision on the fly. So this is our first look at actual text change here. Whoa, we're about to learn a new language. It's different colors and different fonts and different sizes. Whoa! So you've got a new thing over here, style.css. You see that add CSS? That's what we're doing now. We got index.html, we got the HTML, now we got the CSS. So some of these are the do now question. So if you can switch between them just by clicking, it's the same process as adding like an image or something. So if I look here, right, and I see this blue thing, this right here is an H1. This is also an H1. Interesting. They're both blue. I go to style, I go to H1, color, blue. What do you know? They're also centered. Text align, center. What? They end in a semicolon. And it looks different because it's a different language. It's just different. So we have to kind of learn a new way of writing. And that way of writing is you write the thing you want. So if there was a P tag, I could do P. There isn't, but I could. And say I wanted to make all the paragraph text green. I could say color green. And look at all these options. So many things. For those who are fancy, if you're not fancy, just ignore this, but you can look up a fancy color code and do it like that. That's only if you're fancy. Anyway, back to the unfancy. And then I can guess that this is H2 because it's right aligned. Wait, that looked left to you. And then color is red. Check it out. And let me see. Yes, it is. It is in fact H2. Cool. There is something else here that I will leave for the Google question. How is this style sheet linked to style.css? What line of code is that? Okay, 4 and 5. You got to do these together in this order. 5 has the little check mark. I was pointing at the screen, but you can't see where I'm pointing. That means it's the graded thing. So what do we have to do here? In this one, find the code in the style sheet. Click on style.css in the files list that is making the H1 heading red. H1 heading, it's red. Click here. Find in here what's making it red and change it to a different color. Easy. Simple. The next thing to do is find the CSS rule set. Using the same pattern, write a new rule set. This is called a rule set. That's called a rule set. Using the same pattern, write a CSS rule set that will determine the style for the H3 tag. This is doing H1. Make a new one in here that works for H3 and set it to be a different color code. So to get full credit, I should see these things. For number 4 and 5, H1 is a different color than red. H3, these shouldn't be capital, though it doesn't matter, is a different color than H1. That's all I'm asking for now. Very basic. If you want to push it a little bit, if you have some time, feel free to do and look at 7 through 10. They're very short and they talk about different other things you can do. These will come up in other lessons, but they're things you just sort of pick up. So changing text size, for example. We have here font size, looks like this. I can make it bigger if I wanted by making it like 25, and then my paragraph text is huge. I can make it 50. And then I got a really big one right there. Okay. So each of these focuses on a different one. This one focuses on changing text size. For your H3s, number 8 focuses on changing around your font. So how it looks, if it's like Times New Roman, if it's cursive, if it's fantasy. This one right here focuses on different, like if you want to make it underline, different lines, so like, you know, strike through the middle, do you want it to like right above, etc. And then finally, this last one focuses on to make it the like the left or the right or the center. So feel free to look through 7 through 10. Number 7 through 10, optional extension. It just gives you more options to play with because it starts to get fun. Okay, so that's that. I will be in office hours today. Oh, let me look at this. Yeah. So answer these 2 questions, please. How is CSS different than HTML? Different from HTML? And then how are the index.html and the style.css files connected? What specific code? What line of code does that? Cool. Miss you all. Hope you're doing well. Get yourself a car.